just start your night?
Bit of an adventure first, and then
Okay.
I lost my shoe down the train track.
Oh, wow.
So
You are
pair of
safe.
shoes. Yeah.
You just bought a pair of new shoes.
Yeah. I couldn't walk around with one shoe.
Of course. Wow. You didn't get your leg stuck, foot stuck in the train
track.
track.
It was like a sandal. It
You're
fell
lucky.
off. Yeah. And now our night's about to start. A
And
nice dinner.
nice dinner.
A girls' night. Our other friends are already there.
Okay.
Friday nights. They always arrive with a bit of chaos. The night didn't begin the way they planned. A shoe lost on the train track. One of those moments that could sour everything. But what struck me wasn't the inconvenience. It was how quickly they moved past it. No bitterness, no complaining. Just, alright, let's get on with the night. Dinner to start, friends to see, the night still waiting for them. The kind of attitude that says, this isn't going to ruin our night. In fairy tales, losing a shoe changes your life for the better. In real life, sometimes losing a shoe is just a reminder of how lucky you are to walk away at all. And sometimes that's a real happy ending. That Friday night, no prince, no glass slipper, just a stranger in my backseat, safe, slightly annoyed, wearing brand new shoes they never planned to buy. There are two versions of Cinderella. The one we grew up with is the fairy tale one, the Disney version. Lose a shoe and a prince will find you, magic appears right when you need it. But the older version, the Brothers Grimm version, is darker. It wasn't meant to comfort children. It was folklore, a warning passed between adults. In that version, when the prince carries the shoe from house to house, the stepsisters don't wait for fate. One cuts off her toes, the other cuts off her heel. Blood fills the slipper before the lie is exposed. Even at the wedding, the story refuses mercy. Birds peck out their eyes, because the Grimm version isn't about love. It's about what desperation does to people. When choices are few and the world is cruel. That's a part we don't tell kids anymore. That Friday night, my passenger lost her shoe down the train track. A shoe isn't magic. It's just a thin layer between us and the ground. Sometimes it's the only thing protecting us. What if her foot had slipped further? What if she'd panicked? What if she'd tried to pull it free and hurt herself? That would have been the Grimm version of the story. Fairy tales talk about destiny. Real life runs on seconds and small decisions. Where you place your weight, when you pull back, whether you ask for help or stay silent. Midnight is fate for Cinderella. A train timetable is reality for my passenger. In Cinderella, the shoe reveals identity, the girl the prince is looking for. In real life, losing a shoe exposes vulnerability. She couldn't walk around with one shoe. And when you are exposed, what matters isn't romance, it's care. In fairy tales, love saves you. In real life, someone noticing you might be in trouble saves you. There's no crown for the person who presses the emergency button. No song for the stranger who steps forward. But that's how most lives are saved. Quietly, without magic. The Grimm story came from a world where scarcity ruled everything. Where marriage could mean survival. Where hope was rare enough that people mutilated themselves to reach it. When the world gives you no options, people make terrible ones. But this isn't medieval Europe. This is Australia. If something had gone wrong, someone would have helped. someone would have called 000. Someone would have stepped in before a prince ever could. Because in a modern, civilized society, we don't wait for saviors. We rely on each other. There was no prince that night, and none was needed. She didn't need rescuing, she just needed a new pair of shoes. And that felt important. Here, the shoe doesn't decide your future. It doesn't prove your worth. It doesn't choose your life. We don't ask for castles or crowns. We want simple things. A good job, a good holiday, a good partner. She lost her shoe, but she kept her foot. She kept her future. She kept her Friday night from becoming a tragedy. Some moments don't leave evidence. No glass slipper, no proof. They just leave a thought that follows you home. From the driver's seat, I don't save anyone. I just listen long enough to realize how close people come to different endings. Fairy tales tell us what we hope will happen. Friday nights, they remind us what easily could have happened. Sometimes the happiest ending isn't magic at all. But that night, I decided to make it a little magical for them. And during that Uber ride, despite the little misfortune, that small moment on the train track, despite being late for their dinner, they supported my channel. They watched a little magic trick of mine and appeared in my video, just to support me. So here we are. These are the girls from my Friday night fairy tale, sitting in the back seat of my Uber. Let the world remember them, not for the shoe they lost, but for their kindness and their spirit. I wish them beautiful lives, happy journeys, and a future that feels like a fairy tale, in all the ways that really matter.
Yeah, we'll stay and watch your treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we will.
And
we will.
get onto my
Yeah,
program?
We'll go on
Yeah,
your
that's
YouTube
so
channel.
Girls, I love you.
We love you too.
Hello, my subscribers. Had a permission from two beautiful passengers again to watch my card tricks and showing the world how beautiful Australians are. Not just external and the inside. They're so kind. They support my channel. Alright, so I have a deck of cards. They are all blue. And I have one special card which is red. I'm going to place this red card in the deck and you're going to find it. I'm just make it disappear first. Of course, I'm not going to spread out the cards facing down. It's pretty obvious to pick the red card, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the cards and I want you to just say one card. Say one card you think it's a red back.
Queen. Oh wait. Is there a Queen of Hearts?
Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
Queen of Hearts. Do you want to change your mind?
No.
It's a lucky day. You just don't know. Now, I leave this Queen of Hearts here.
Yeah.
This Queen of Hearts is from red pack. There must be another Queen of Hearts from this blue pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, trust me, it's your lucky day. Would you like to say stop? I'm going to shuffle the cards like that. Say stop and
You
pick
say
one
stop.
card.
Okay. Stop.
Here?
Yeah.
Drop it here. Queen of Hearts. Now, you hold it.
Okay.
You place the Queen of Hearts. You see, they are all blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Place this Queen of Hearts anywhere you like. Yeah, push it in.
Yeah.
Just do that. Now, I'm going to find the matching card this time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da! Oops.
That's okay.
Oops. That's why.
That's okay.
That's why I'm still driving Uber.
That's okay.
However, I'm a magician. I said I'm going to find the matching card.
What? Have you done that? No. I can disbelieve. Wow.
Thank
I'm
you,
in
girls.
shock. That's okay.
Thank you, girls.
Oh
This
my
is Friday night in Melbourne.
God. Yeah.
Magic happens. I wish you a good evening. Enjoy your party.
We will.
Enjoy your food.
Thank you. Make sure to subscribe.
Thank you. Yes, subscribe, share,
like.
and like.
Yeah.
And comment.
Yeah, and comment.
Signing off. Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.